$1 Million Habits. Brian Tracy, get ready for an auditory experience that will completely change the way you see success, discipline, and wealth. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave your like, guaranteeing that every week you'll receive optimized summaries about a wealth mindset, productivity, and self-development. $1 Million Habit Summary by Brian Tracy. The author argues that there is no luck in success. Everything comes from the habits we cultivate every day. He explains that anyone, under any condition, can develop millionaire habits, and that does not depend on external factors, but rather on discipline, practice, and a clear intention. Brian Tracy introduces the concept of habits as automatic programs that shape our identity. Just like we breathe without thinking, we repeat behaviors without realizing it, which can lead us either to success or to failure. To become a millionaire, according to him, you must reprogram your mind to act strategically, consistently, and with focus. At the center of everything is self-discipline, considered the most important trait of high-performance people. Brian says that self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even if you don't feel like doing it. This means resisting distractions, delaying rewards, and keeping your focus on the bigger goal. He also highlights that millionaire habits don't come from luck, but from a mindset of personal responsibility. Rich people believe they are in control of their own lives. Instead of blaming the government, the economy, or others for their difficulties. This sense of responsibility strengthens discipline because it makes people take command of every decision. The author presents the first fundamental mental laws to transform financial results. The law of cause and effect says that everything in life has a reason. Success and failure do not happen randomly. You plant, you harvest. This clarity of cause and consequence helps develop more conscious behaviors without shifting the blame to others. Another powerful law is the law of control, which states that we only feel good in life when we realize we have control over our own destiny. Those who think they control nothing become victims, lose energy, and live in frustration. On the other hand, those who take autonomy strengthen their confidence and start to act in a much more determined way. Brian Tracy also talks about the law of beliefs, reminding us that everything you believe becomes your reality. If a person thinks they were not born to be rich, they unconsciously act in ways that sabotage any chance of prosperity. Therefore, changing the way you think is essential to adopting successful behaviors. He completes with the law of expectations. What you expect tends to become reality. Optimistic people who expect good things act with more energy and attract better results. On the other hand, those who expect failure usually behave in ways that confirm their own negative predictions. These fundamentals form the basis for the rest of the book, reminding us that wealth does not come only from financial strategies, but from deep mental habits that define our actions. Brian shows that by understanding these laws and beginning to apply them, anyone can pave the way to millionaire results, regardless of where they are starting from today. If you haven't left your like and subscription yet, do it now. That way you strengthen the channel and guarantee you will continue receiving optimized content to transform your mindset and your habits. Optimized insights. Success comes from daily habits, not luck. Self-discipline is the foundation of all lasting wealth. Personal responsibility liberates and empowers. You harvest exactly what you plant. Feeling you control your life increases your confidence. Limiting beliefs sabotage results. Expecting good things makes you act positively. Success starts in the mind before any practical action. Each choice reinforces a habit. Small repeated behaviors generate big changes. And now, reflect. Are you taking care of the habits that build wealth? Or are you repeating patterns that keep you away from it? In the next block, we will dive deeper into these mental laws and discover how to turn thoughts into real results. Stay with me in this auditory experience, which will unlock a millionaire mindset from the inside out. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Making sure you receive weekly optimized summaries about wealth, success habits, and high performance. In the previous block, you learned about mental laws like the law of cause and effect, the law of control, the law of beliefs, and the law of expectations. Now, Brian Tracy goes even deeper into this foundation, introducing the law of attraction. He explains that you attract into your life people, situations, and opportunities that are aligned with your dominant thoughts. If you think about growth, you attract growth. If you think about scarcity, you attract difficulties. Therefore, cultivating positive and constructive thoughts is not just an empty motivational speech. It is a practical strategy to create results. Next comes the law of correspondence, which says that the outer world reflects your inner world. If your environment is disorganized, it usually reflects a confused mind. If your finances are a mess, they show that your internal financial habits are not healthy. This awareness encourages real change because it makes you understand that changing inside is the first step to transforming the outside. Brian Tracy reinforces that millionaire habits must be based on repeating behaviors until they become automatic. He argues that every habit is learned, whether good or bad, and that we can relearn new patterns as long as there is discipline and consistency. Repetition is the mother of excellence. What you practice regularly ends up shaping your destiny. He also brings the concept of selective attention. Our brain filters what seems relevant and ignores the rest. This means that by focusing daily on prosperity and success goals, we start noticing opportunities that were previously invisible. This selectivity works like an internal radar, guiding attitudes and decisions to reinforce those goals. Another striking teaching is the importance of aligning words, thoughts, and actions. There is no point in talking about wealth while acting like someone who lives in debt, spending uncontrollably, and without planning. It is the coherence between speech and attitude that sustains new results. Brian Tracy reminds us that people with a millionaire mindset surround themselves with positive environments and references, filtering who influences their ideas and behaviors. He recommends choosing your friends, colleagues, and even information sources carefully because all of this shapes unconscious success or failure patterns. He also highlights that the discipline of habits cannot be intermittent. It needs daily consistency, even in small things, because every small victory builds self-confidence and reaffirms the chosen path. Optimized insights, second block. You attract what you think about constantly. Your outer world reflects your inner world. New habits need repetition until they become automatic. Selective attention guides opportunities. Aligning. Thought, word, and action creates coherence. The environment greatly influences your results. Choosing good companions strengthens your mindset. Small daily disciplines build great achievements. Coherence sustains transformation. You program your own life by repeating patterns every day. Now stay with me, because in the next block, we will discover how to model successful people. Define a clear purpose, and use these principles to create solid and lasting millionaire habits. Let's continue together in this auditory experience, which will help you build the discipline and confidence you truly need to prosper. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe now and leave your like. Guaranteeing access to optimized summaries of success, mindset, productivity, and wealth every week. After presenting the mental laws and the importance of repetition, Brian Tracy introduces the powerful idea of modeling. He explains that the fastest way to develop millionaire habits is to observe and copy people who have already achieved what you want. Modeling behaviors, decisions, and strategies of successful people saves years of trial and error. The author says that the mind learns by imitation, and this can be directed positively. By studying Brian Tracy habits such as discipline, constant reading, time management, and financial organization, You create a mental pattern that makes it easier to repeat these behaviors. Another essential point is having a clear purpose. Brian Tracy reinforces that those who are not clear about what they want end up following any path, getting easily distracted, and giving up at the first obstacle. A strong purpose works like a compass, helping you decide what is worth doing and what should be discarded. Millionaire people are driven by big purposes that go beyond money: freedom, impact, legacy. To strengthen these habits, the author presents 7 steps to create new habits. 1. Decide exactly which habits you want to develop. Be specific. 2. Repeat consistently every day, no excuses. 3. Visualize the habit being performed until it feels natural. 4. Verbally affirm that you will maintain the practice. 5. Educate your environment to support this behavior. 6. Associate rewards with each progress, reinforcing the pleasure of keeping the habit. 7. Commit publicly. Telling someone increases responsibility. Brian emphasizes that these steps work for any area of life, whether money, health, career, or relationships. The brain learns through repetition and the coherence between intention and action. And the more you consciously dedicate yourself to the new habit, the more solid it becomes. He also reminds us that we cannot expect perfect motivation every day. Millionaires maintain their practice even when they are discouraged because they understand that discipline overcomes motivation. Daily action builds consistent results. If you haven't left your like and subscription yet, do it now. That way, you guarantee continuous access to optimized content, full of strategies to transform your mindset and achieve concrete results. Optimized insights, modeling those who have already achieved success, speeds up your path. A clear purpose directs your energy and focus. Clarity avoids distractions and giving up. 7 steps can install any positive habit. Visualizing and affirming reinforces new mental patterns. Discipline beats temporary motivation. Rewards make the habit pleasurable. A favorable environment makes daily practice easier. Public commitment increases responsibility. Conscious repetition transforms behavior into an automatic routine. And now, think with me. Which of these habits are you already applying, and which ones do you still need to develop? In the next section, we will discover how to cultivate millionaire habits related to finances, time, and productivity. Understanding how these practices can multiply your results exponentially. Stay with me in this powerful auditory experience, which will show you in practice how to turn money, time, and focus into great achievements. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Making sure you have access every week to optimize summaries about millionaire mindset, productivity, and personal development. At this point, Brian Tracy goes deeper into millionaire financial habits, starting with how to think about money. He says that successful people treat money with respect, care, and strategy. They avoid bad debts, save part of every income, and invest regularly, creating security and freedom over time. Another essential habit is spending control. Millionaires know exactly where every penny goes, monitor budgets, and avoid waste. This constant attention strengthens financial discipline and prevents small slips from becoming giant problems. In addition, Brian Tracy teaches the power of paying yourself first. That is, setting aside a portion of what you earn right at the beginning of the month for investments and reserves. Before paying bills and other expenses, this simple principle, practiced with discipline, builds wealth consistently and solidly. In the area of productivity, he highlights that millionaires value time as much as money. They know that time is the most valuable resource because it cannot be recovered. That is why they plan their day in advance, prioritize high-impact tasks, and delegate low-value activities whenever possible. Brian also reminds us that highly productive people usually have very well-defined morning routines, as this sets the tone for the entire day. They avoid starting in a rush or reacting to problems and prefer to begin with calm, clarity, and purpose. Reading, exercising, planning tasks, and reviewing goals are part of this ritual for those who build great results. Another crucial point is learning to say no. Millionaire people do not accept every invitation, project, or distraction. They are selective because they know that energy and attention are limited. Every yes to something irrelevant takes away time and focus from something that could truly generate value. If you haven't left your like and subscription yet, do it now. This way, you guarantee that you will continue receiving optimized content to transform your routine and your habits towards wealth. Optimized insights. Millionaires treat money as a strategic resource. Avoiding bad debt preserves financial freedom. Paying yourself first builds consistent wealth. A well-done budget prevents waste. Time is as valuable as money. Daily planning increases results. Morning routines strengthen focus and clarity. Saying no protects your energy for what matters. Delegating low-value tasks multiplies productivity. Consistency in habits ensures long-term growth. And now think with me. Are you taking care of your body, your friendships, and your character with the same care you dedicate to your work? In the next section, we will discover how wealth goes far beyond money, involving health, relationships, and character. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Guaranteeing access to optimized summaries on wealth mindset, high performance, and personal development every week. Brian Tracy highlights that millionaire people do not only build financial assets, but also take care of their bodies, minds, and social connections. He explains that healthy habits are essential to maintain energy, motivation, and mental clarity over the years. That is why they prioritize a balanced diet, regular physical activity, and quality rest. In addition to health, another priority of millionaires is cultivating trustworthy relationships. They understand that extraordinary results are rarely achieved alone. Partners, friends, mentors, and family members can open doors, provide emotional support, and share valuable ideas. Therefore, successful people invest time and attention to strengthen genuine support networks. Brian also reminds us to look at our own character. Integrity, honesty, and commitment are constant marks of those who build solid wealth. A reputation for being trustworthy opens opportunities, protects you from traps, and generates credibility in the market. The author reinforces that keeping your word, meeting deadlines, and acting ethically never goes out of style. He challenges us to think about the importance of the social environment. Being surrounded by positive people who believe in growth and also practice good habits strengthens your discipline. On the other hand, living around negative and unmotivated people weakens your determination and can even sabotage your plans. Another important element is setting aside time to reflect. Brian explains that the most successful people create moments of silence to analyze their own journey, correct routes, and make conscious decisions. This habit of regular self-assessment prevents people from going on autopilot and losing their purpose. He concludes by reminding us that being truly wealthy means having balance. It is no use accumulating money while losing your health or destroying important relationships. True wealth covers all areas of life in a harmonious and sustainable way. Optimized insights, physical health sustains energy to act. Balanced diet, exercise, and quality sleep are essential habits. Positive relationships open doors and strengthen motivation. Character is the greatest asset for those who want to prosper. Integrity and ethics protect your reputation. Surrounding yourself with constructive people reinforces discipline. Silence and reflection help keep your purpose clear. Self-assessment prevents getting off track. Balancing life areas generates lasting wealth. Prospering is not just about making money, but living fully. And now take a pause to reflect. Are you taking care of your body, your friendships, and your character with the same dedication you give to your work? In the next block, we will close this journey with Brian Tracy's final message on how to turn habits into a millionaire lifestyle. We have reached the end of this powerful auditory experience, which showed you how to build millionaire habits and achieve true, balanced, and sustainable wealth. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and leave your like, making sure you will keep receiving optimized summaries about success, mindset, productivity, and personal development every week. Brian Tracy closes the book by reinforcing that no one is born with ready-made habits. Every millionaire person you admire built these behavioral patterns step by step through discipline, repetition, and a positive mindset. He guarantees that anyone can replicate these same principles as long as they commit and practice daily. The central message is simple. You become what you repeatedly do. Each action, no matter how small it seems, shapes your destiny. If you repeat destructive behaviors, you build failure. If you repeat healthy and productive habits, you build success. Therefore, choosing the right habits means, in practice, choosing your future. Brian also highlights that life is not a rehearsal, but a real stage. We cannot eternally postpone change, waiting for perfect motivation. It is discipline that generates results, even on days when enthusiasm is lacking. Consistent action is worth infinitely more than the desire to act. He also reminds us that the journey does not need to be lonely. Seeking mentors, studying stories of successful people, participating in groups, and having accountability partners can further accelerate this transformation. Being close to those who have already arrived where you want to go inspires, gives you confidence, and prevents you from giving up halfway. Finally, Brian Tracy makes it clear that true wealth is not limited to money in your bank account, but to the power of living with freedom, health, good relationships, and a sense of purpose. Being a millionaire is about having choices, and those choices start with the habits you plant today. Optimized insights. Final part habits build your destiny, step by step. Discipline is worth more than temporary motivation. You become what you practice every day. Small changes add up to transform your entire life. Seeking mentors shortens the path to success. Surrounding yourself with positive references builds confidence. Wealth involves freedom, health, and purpose, not just money. There is no perfect time. Start now. Consistent action is more powerful than isolated inspiration. The future starts with the habits you choose today. Too close, Brian Tracy challenges. You too start the change today. Choose a habit you want to transform. Apply the steps, repeat every day, and above all, believe you can do it. Because no one will do it for you. It is a personal, courageous, and non-transferable decision. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and leave your like, making sure you will keep accessing optimized summaries and content that will help you live your best version. Every week, here on the channel.